Hi there, Gemini. Welcome to your mid-March 2025 General Tarot Update. It's Rena here on my new tarot channel. Well, not too new, but relatively new. If you don't know that I have a main channel, it's called Rena Moon Astrology. I'm separating out the two different types of readings that I'm doing, and at least temporarily, to see how it gels. And sorry if it's a little bit dim. I don't have an overhead light on. It's like I've gotten to the point where I don't like those overhead lights very much, if I can avoid them, and it's kind of like still light out. But this tarot deck is called what is it called? I was going to say hippie tarot, but it's actually called Flower Child Tarot. So I just got it. I think it just came out at the end of 2024. Been enjoying it a lot. Oops. I'm looking to see. Yeah, I had these cards turned upside down. Yeah, so I'm going to shuffle them and have them right side up. And yeah, I'm going to put these to the side. Okay. The heart of the matter is the Chariot card, and this is a card of victory. Sometimes this can be a card of travel. Just a heads up, your ruler Mercury goes retrograde on the 15th, which is mid-month. So you may, if you are traveling, there could be some kind of delays. Also, this can be a new vehicle that you're getting. This card is connected to Cancer, so someone of that sign you may be dealing with in some way. In the past position, we have Seven of Wands. And I just get such a kick out of these frogs. There's like certain cards that have frogs on them, and they're so cute. Yeah, now the Seven of Wands indicates that you may have been feeling that there have been personal attacks against you, Gemini, and maybe it's coming from this Cancer individual, or you've been able to kind of like solve the problem to some degree. One of the things that I think about when I think of the Seven of Wands is I think about somebody who is feeling defensive. And I remember reading one time that if you are dealing with someone, it could be any type of relationship, and you feel on the defensive, that's a toxic relationship. Because sometimes people do say things, people that are close to us say things, and they're not trying to hurt us, but we might feel a little bit defensive because we know it's true. But if it's constant, like if you're always feeling like someone is putting you down and it's not like what I was talking about, then it's probably a toxic relationship. So the Chariot is about how do you get to where you want to go without, suffering too much, because this is a card that can be victory under evil circumstances. And evil, just means like very negative circumstances. That's why in this deck, they have cats that are black and white, because they represent the polarities in life. And, sometimes people say, oh, I wish, something could just be like smooth sailing. But we have contrast on this planet. And if you look at this planet as, a big schoolroom, the contrast actually is a very important teacher because it tells us what we don't want. So even if you have been involved with someone, maybe you're even married to the person, and you find that the relationship is not what you thought it was going to be, it's giving you that information. The higher message is the Knight of Cups. This is a card of um, an offer of love. So we have, currently during this time frame, right when Mercury goes retrograde, we're going to have both of these things happening at once. Venus began retrograding on the 1st of March. So when Venus is retrograde, when Mercury is retrograde, both of them can indicate that you're hearing from someone in your past. And when that happens, I mean, the fact that there's going to be a period of time, like for a few weeks, when both of those planets are retrograding at the same time is pretty wild, because you may hear from an old flame. You may get in contact with them. And maybe you will see that contrast between the relationship that you have had and with that other person and one that you currently have. But it can work the other way. Maybe you have a pretty good relationship, but it's not too exciting, and somebody from your past is coming up, and maybe they put you on the defensive, and that's why you broke up ultimately. But you're in this excitement phase of like, oh my gosh, they contacted me. They can't live without me. What crosses you is the Six of Pentacles. In some cases, this can really refer to an idea that you have about relationship that is untrue, which is that it's a one-way street. Now, nobody actually thinks that, but some people, they embody that, where they're very self-sacrificial. If you're actually, I'm going to say this: if you're a Gemini and you have the moon in Pisces, then it's all over, because that's exactly what I'm talking about. But even like inner planets in Cancer, for instance, can be like this, because there's this feeling of, when I love someone, I have to go all out. But sometimes it's a one-way street. Sometimes you're the one that's giving, and the other person is taking, and it's not fair. And I'm not even talking about tit for tat or financially. We're not talking about that. It's energy. I mean, really, the Pentacles ultimately is about energy. And so when people have a tendency towards codependency, they are always hyper vigilant about somebody else, the person that they're with, the problems that that person is having. And, you can get sucked into other people's problems and try to be the person who's going to save the day, and you lose yourself in the process. What's coming in? The Three of Pentacles. This can be a card of teamwork. In terms of your love life, anytime you see a three, there could be three parties involved. So watch out for that, because if this is someone that you used to have dealings with, make sure that that person is not already spoken for. But also on your end, Gemini, they always say Gemini is like two of everything. Well, are you embarking upon an affair, or or even like if it's an emotional affair? Are you, because the Knight of Cups, maybe it's an emotional affair. By the way, I'm not really that scared of Gemini people getting mad at me if I accuse them of being in a relation or, cheating on the relationship because I think that Gemini people might not see it as such a bad thing. I'm sorry if I offend anyone, but that's just my take on it. You probably would be like, yeah, you saying that like it's a bad thing. The outcome is a Four of Wands, and that's a very interesting card. If I keep going with this narrative of like somebody from your past showing up, because this is a card of a happy marriage. So it might be a situation where you are tempted by something that's like the Knight. It's right below the Knight of Cups. And the Knight of Cups, even though this is an upright position, it could be somebody who's presenting themselves as a knight in shining armor, and really it's the same old that you already dealt with this person. So in that case, it's not going to be any different. They're going to, of course, promise that they are doing things differently, but they're not going to necessarily deliver it. So it might be that you find new appreciation for your partnership. It might be also that you choose to be positive in your home life, even if you feel like you don't have what the Three of Pentacles represents. You don't have that, you're not on the same page with that person, and you don't feel like you're cooperating with that person. You realize that you're not going to complicate matters. You're going to just accept whatever is, and realize that you have the power to change that at some point, but maybe right now you have to be very gradual about it. Four of Wands could also mean that you hold a vision for what you want in your home life. Wands is fire energy, so it can be very joyous. I think a lot of times, being a Sagittarian myself, the opposite sign of Gemini, we're masculine signs, air and fire. We're not necessarily naturally acclimated to the domestic side of life. It can almost feel like some kind of prison sentence sometimes if a person has a certain prejudice against it. But the truth is that anything you do, whether it's, you know, being at home, having a family, you can do that in your own way, and you can cultivate freedom within that, space. It doesn't have to be what you experienced growing up or what your feelings are about it. It can be your own thing. So just wanted to make that clear. But anyway, that's what I have for you, Gemini. I hope that this resonated. I realize it might not for everybody because I kind of was sticking to one theme. I want to say that if you are in a work situation, there can be this feeling of being able to transcend any kind of attacks that are coming at you, kind of almost like transmute them into success in your life. And maybe you're just biding your time until something better comes along. That's what I have for you. If you'd like a private reading, the link is below. Take care. Bye.